Before any of that happens, old friends of ours have come back to the mixtape. Colin Trio are here in the studio. Colin, Brian, Cheo, it's really nice to see you all again.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, great to be back.
Absolutely. Well, we were talking before we went on air about the last time you all were on the mixtape, which I don't know. Do you remember? It must be like 5 or 6 years ago,
Or maybe more.
or maybe even more.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, live and loud, and the where was
We
it?
brought too many instruments and made too much noise.
No, it was perfect. So you had this really cool, beautiful sort of folk album, and then you came and you were ready to go. Like, there's an organ and bass and drums in our old studio. It was amazing. It was just phenomenal. I think we had to leave after that. I think we might have damaged the building.
Oh, no. Well, here we are in a beautiful, newer space with more space. So.
It is definitely more space. So we've decided that when you come back again, we're going to play live because that'll be good. Even though Cheo's going to be out in the van. But other than that, it's going to be good.
We'll pipe them in.
So how are you guys doing? You got a new record out. It's called Didn't Mean To. And it's really, what a great record.
Oh, thank you. We're excited about it.
And you out touring it? What's it like to have it out on the shelves and playing and people listening to it?
Well, there was a lot of work that went into releasing it. Kind of the hustle of, putting all the pieces together so that it's a thing that you can put out into the world, and then the big show to sort of the big reveal, and then we kind of took a little break.
It
I
must
was
be
like, wow, this is a lot of work. Okay, cool. I'm just going to hang out for a minute.
I'm always interested by the fact that how much time and effort it takes to put the record out. And then it must feel like a release to have it out there, but also it must feel like, oh, it's out in the, like, do you feel like it's perfect, or the things you could have done or changed or altered, anything like that?
I mean, that's a practice that you learn, like, after making many records, that you could hold on to it forever and keep tweaking it and never be satisfied, which means nobody ever gets to hear it.
Yeah. Yep.
Or you kind of like, okay, this, you remember that a record is sort of, you're capturing a point in time.
Yeah.
We were all here in Muscle Shoals making this record for this week, and this is what we got. We're going to pick the best of what we got, put it together, and then put it out there.
Amazing. Yes. So what was the point in time? I mean, you said that it was written in the sort of 2021 times, COVID-y sort of record.
Yeah, a lot of the songs originated then, 2021-ish. We were in Muscle Shoals the first half of 2023 to make the record. And then it just kind of takes a while to, finish. And
did Muscle Shoals just feel like hallowed ground? Like, just wondering just amazed all that has happened in that down there.
It's funny. The first thing I thought of was like the creatures in the sea that eat all of the amazing like plankton. They just get all the tiny, nutrients out of the water that we can't really see.
Yep.
But it's everywhere. That's kind of what it feels like. You go there and it's sort of, there's just magic and like what I think of as like nutrition or nutrients in the air. You can just breathe it in and you can feel it and use it.
Yeah.
To do your best. You brought your songs with you, but then you're there to sort of air them out, in the best way that you can.
Yeah, amazing. Wow, that just feels like a lot of pressure.
No. If anything, in Muscle Shoals, what's nice is there's nothing to do down there.
Other than
it's amazing. Yeah. So you go down there for a week, and you play, and it's like, oh, all right, guys, we're done. What are we gonna do? And you're like, oh, there's nothing to do. I guess.
And there's one coffee place built out of a church, and there's two Uber drivers, and they have some stories. Let me tell you about the different people that they picked up and been with. And this is our second time being down there, and it feels kind of like home. I mean, Colin and I are from the South.
Yep.
And so just the food and the people that you meet and everything. And she's just she can mimic any kind of like accent. And so she just drops right into it. So you got to give us a little.
No.
Come on, no. Come on.
And that's a different show.
We went through some drive-throughs, and I was like, come on, give them the accent. See if they know that you're,
Are you local or not? Is that
yeah. See if they get it or not.
Anyway, it doesn't feel like pressure when you're down there. It just feels like,
it's a great community. It feels like everybody is working together to just make more albums.
Well, and
down there.
That's the history of the place, right? I mean, everyone came together. It didn't matter who you were. If you were a musician and you were in there, was the equalizer in a lot of ways. That studio, and it's phenomenal.
The sharing of gear.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, the sharing of
Yeah.
gear, studio time. They're like, oh, you want to record timpanis? Well, I don't have a session right now. Like, you come over at like 8 o'clock. You can record timpanis. That's cool. We'll make it happen. And
Yeah.
then they just make it happen. It's kind of magical.
Well, let's hear a song. Let's hear one of the first song off there that you wanted to play. This is the title track of the record. It called "Didn't Mean to." Tell us a little bit about the song, and then we'll give it a spin.
Yeah. So, didn't mean to call you out. I just open the door to my heart and I shout. I didn't mean to bring you down, and I guess I didn't mean to write this song about you. It's kind of like, I write about how I'm feeling and whatever
Yeah.
has happened, and it's sort of like, sorry, but I'm not sorry because this is my process. It's not like I'm making a song into like a weapon and throwing it at someone. It's a song.
Yeah.
It's a reflection of a moment. And it's kind of like that snarky, like, well, this is how I felt at the time, even if it was a misunderstanding and I figured that out later, like it was the fuel for this song. And then here we go.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
Almost catharsis,
Which is well, we'll get into this after the song, but that must be sort of a theme through the record of this is the title track.
Yeah.
All right. I love it. This is Didn't Mean to, the Colin Trio, right here on Portland Radio Project.
My head feels light 'cause I see the light, but not 'cause I can't see the bright light. Light me up with your passion and glory stories. Tell me I've been lonely, not 'cause I ain't got no one to hold me, but you're gone, so I feel the hole that I'm holding down. There's a moment of doubt. Won't you bail me out? Won't you bail me out? And I didn't mean to call you out. I just open the door to my heart and I shout. You say you didn't mean to bring me down. Well, then I didn't mean to write this about you.
Oh my, that's the Colin Trio song called Didn't Mean To, the title track of their new record. They are sitting here in the studio. We got Colin, Brian, Cheo. Amazing. What a great song.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was our folky song.
That so, I love it. So we were talking before we played that's sort of a theme to the record. So talk a little bit of how that record came to be.
Well,
She keeps writing songs and we have to record them.
So you don't have a choice.
We don't have and we were ready for the next album halfway through mixing this album. So
Yeah.
you know, it's a problem that we have.
you know, it's funny. Like, I think when I was younger, you know, you read about and like watch documentaries about bands going into a studio to make a record, and
Yeah.
they're like there to write the record when they get there and capture it as they go. That's not really how the real world works, unless someone's got a lot of bankroll and they're just paying for you to be there as long as you need to go.
Right.
Otherwise, you're in the world living your regular life. And if songwriting is part of what you do, then you do that. And that's what we do, right?
Uh-huh.
And so by the time we can get a chunk of songs and then some time set aside to record it and then the money that it takes to do that, that's when we make the record. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So it's
Yeah.
really less about, okay, I'm writing these songs for this record. It's like I wrote this one and then I wrote this one. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then you bring them together as a collection. And then, like I said before, like the record is sort of the recording of the event of getting all those songs at one time, you know, 1 week.
And do you find that in that process of just writing as you go, that there are themes that emerge out of it, or
For
do you find
sure.
that there's a collectiveness in the kinds of songs or the kinds of feelings that are coming out?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, like, in retrospect, you can look back and be like, oh, wow, we were going through this or we were going through that. You know, you can see some similarity. But I think just in general, when they come out as they go, like what we were talking about before, it's just a reflection of the moment, what's
Yeah.
happening, you know.
Well, and I've noticed from the first record that we were talking about to the last two records, the sound is sped up. It's changed. That there's that more of a rock and roll feel.
Yeah.
And is that obviously is intentional, I would assume, or
Yeah.
is that a sign of the times? Is it a sign of the growth of you all as a band? Where does that come from?
Well, I would say that Cheo had a big influence in that.
Yeah.
As soon as we started playing with Cheo, he's more of a rock and roll guy. And he was just like, yeah, I hear rock and roll in these songs. And when she comes to us with songs, they're pretty loose of which direction they could go. They could go more folky, they could go more jazzy, or they could go more rock and roll.
Yeah.
And Cheo brings the rock. He brings the heavy snare drum, the heavy kick, you know, and we really love that.
Love it. Is that the kind of music y'all grew up listening to, or is this? So is it a not surprising journey to get to where you are now, or is like, that's not really where we were listening to as you know, kids, or music you grew up with, or anything like that?
No, I think for at least part of all of us, what we've listened to, it's a reflection. You know what I mean? I mean, there's definitely like a lot more than what we're doing. Like Cheo listened to a lot of metal. We're not quite metal.
I always thought it was very interesting because the three of us didn't really listen to the same music growing up
Yeah.
at all. And so I've always found that the intriguing part of the songwriting process is that our variances in what we grew up listening to is what makes the music sound so unique.
Yeah,
Because,
absolutely.
Right? Like Brian was saying, she'll bring a thing and she may have a preconceived idea about what it should be, but she gives us the chance to be like, well, I kind of hear this.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes we're able to create something drastically different
Yeah.
because she's like, I didn't hear it that way.
Yeah.
You know, with what I either play, what Brian plays, and then because I'm coming from a different place than what Brian's playing, we meld these very different genres.
Yeah, absolutely.
And ideas together to just create our own thing, you know? So I feel it's like we spend a lot of time practicing and working on the songs. So like another thing that happens is before we go in the studio, we're very, we know exactly what these songs are supposed to be.
Gotcha. So the studio time does not change it in any discernible way.
No, not really.
I mean, we were working with a producer and, you know, he can make some cool suggestions, but
Yeah.
that's sort of like adding to, you know, like putting a layer on what we were bringing, you know,
Yeah.
because of course in the studio you have the chance to put more than what you could in a live performance. you
Yeah.
know, so.
Well, it definitely feels for this record and your last record that there's now very much what, you know, a Colin Trio sound. You know,
I
to your
love it.
point, Cheo, it's like, you know, we're making our own sound here.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part. Like people ask us, what do we sound like, or if there's a sound that we do, and like I have no.
What kind of
idea.
music do you play? I don't know. Just come to the show.
You'll have a good time.
How many genres can I list to try to explain this?
Well, I really want to know, or I'm not like don't
You
come.
know,
Yeah.
somebody actually had a great
gonna say,
great comment.
I know what you're gonna say.
She was doing merch at the Brie Greg show you were at.
Yep.
When
Oh,
we got
Donna,
to
right.
open. And she was like, you know, it's like warrior anthems and burlesque music. And I'm out here with my fist up just dancing. And I've said, great, I'm gonna use that.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Like, excellent. That's exactly what we were going
Exactly what we were going for.
Yeah. Wow, you nailed it.
Yep, love it.
All right, we're going to play another song off the new record. The song's called Now, and this is it's a really beautiful song.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is the Colin Trio off their brand new record called Didn't Mean To. The song is Now, and you're listening to Portland Radio Project.
I feel it, but I ain't done nothing. I'm just hurting. I'm just hurting. I hear it, but I ain't said nothing. I'm just listening. I'm just listening. I feel it, but I ain't done nothing. I'm just hurting. I'm just hurting. And I hear it, but I ain't said nothing. I'm just listening. I'm just listening. I feel you, but I ain't been there before, so I don't know. No, I don't know. And I hear you, but I ain't been silent for all my life. For all my life. Wish I knew how to heal it. You should see it how I see it. Don't you know that we need each other? Now don't you draw them lines separate? Don't you say them words for me? Use your arms and reach out. You gotta use your voice to sing out. I feel it, but I ain't done nothing. I hear it, but I ain't said nothing. I'm just listening. I'm just listening. Wish I knew how to heal it. Can't you see it how I see it? Don't you know that we need each other? Now don't you draw them lines separate? Don't you say them words for me? Use your arms and reach out. Yeah,
All right, that is the Colin Trio. I hope y'all turned that one up. It's a song called Now, and the Colin Trio is right here in studio. We got Brian Cheo and Colin herself. So that, I think, is an example of probably what you brought to the band there, Cheo. Is that a fair that a fair assessment?
Well, I would also argue Colin's new guitar.
Oh,
That was also a big part of the.
I promise that was only 3 people playing the entire song.
I think there was definitely some Zeppelin conversations when we were putting this song together.
I think you guys were in the van and someone was playing a lot of Zeppeliners.
Yeah.
Like, where'd that come from? Oh,
Nothing
right.
wrong with that.
Yes, nothing wrong with that.
And that was one where we, where Colin was recording solos for that, and she recorded 2 different solos. And we couldn't decide which one we liked, and just played the both of them at the same time, and it kind of works.
Yeah, it absolutely works. It absolutely works. So talk a little bit about your songwriting process. So Colin, you're the main songwriter and you bring it to the other 2, or is there more collaboration than that? Or does the collaboration happen in terms of, all right, here's the melody, here's what goes around it, that sort of thing?
Yeah, so I always write by myself, just because I don't know, it just kind of feels weird to sort of try to first put something together in that really vulnerable place, and so I prefer to be by myself, and then it's like I can already hear part of the melody in my head, and so then I've got to get to an instrument and try to get it out. And so then it's like, it's always funny when that first thing happens, like that first melody comes through and it's like, okay, I'm going to pick up the guitar, I'm going to pick up the piano. Well, I don't pick up the piano, it'd be really heavy, but where do I go to try to get it out, But so anyway, then I'm sort of putting it together, and I try to discipline myself enough to sort of get the whole song put together. But anyway, I bring as much of it as I can to practice.
Yeah.
And then Brian and Cheo can kind of say like, oh, I hear this and I hear this and let's try this. And then we sort of arrange together. So they like write their parts, and then we sort of discuss and sort of like put it together as a group, how the song sort of fits together.
Nice.
In pieces,
A big part of it too is representing what she's feeling, like the emotions being conveyed, and making sure that it's being represented dynamically.
Yeah.
That's a big conversation we have a lot, where it's kind of like, oh, is this a sad song? Is this an aggressive song? Is this an aggressive part?
Yeah.
Is this a quiet part? Does it need to be more open? And so it helps a lot to dictate what the song does, because our dynamics to us are very important, because it's a huge part of what the songs can be.
Well, I wonder too, we were talking earlier about how songs are written in a point in time and they had a meaning at that time. And so, is it the aggressive song, the quiet song? Do you find that over time, songs that you wrote a couple of years ago on their first record, for example, that the meaning behind that song has changed? So thus, when I play it live, it has a different feel to it? Like, because if you're talking about how the music can fit that, if the song has a different meaning because of a different life experience or a different feel, does it change? Does that make any sense?
It does make sense. And I think for me, performing the songs, I can always kind of jump back in to the moment where I was feeling it and sort of act out the song, if you will.
Sure.
It's almost like that tiny little like replay of where it came from and what it feels like. And I feel like that's part of the, putting the song out live, is to like convey what the song, where it came from and how it feels and how to deliver it. We do it all together.
Yeah.
Even if you change your mind about how you feel about the thing that you wrote the thing about, it's still, I can still get back to the raw emotion of it.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah.
Because I like it when I listen to music and I can feel what the person, it's my interpretation of, but I like to be able to feel music when I listen to it. And so I like to write music that way.
Yeah, that's so interesting, because I can imagine, you're in there in the studio thinking, okay, here's the feel of it for us. But you're right, it's all perspective. At what point did I hear that song that has that meaning to me? Whether that is but that's art, right? That's all how we engage in art, is what we're bringing to it as the listener or the viewer or whatever it might be. Yeah, I think that's that vulnerable part about writing music. I can imagine. Same thing with poetry or a book. Like, here's what it's meaning to me, and I'm going to give it to you all. Now you interpret it.
Well, and even though you write it and you record it and you perform it, you're not necessarily saying you're ready to like stand at a podium and explain what it is, right? Because writing it, performing it is sort of still in code.
Mm-hmm.
It's like painting something and saying like, look, this is what I did, but you don't have to stand there and explain why and what and where and when and how. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so it's such an interesting thing when you try to break down where something came from, because even then you can't really capture it in the way, because the song was the medium for the painting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that. I love that. It's like the blank page and I don't know what's going to happen on it, and then it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And how do you describe that? How do you tell anybody what that actually was
Totally.
all about? Yeah. So then we have to give it to the world, right? We don't have a choice, because that way we've given this gift, and then we'll do with it what we will.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
That's beautiful. I love that. All right. We got one more song from the new record, and this is the song Say You Will. And this is just, I think the piano in the song is just lovely.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the Colin Trio. It's off their brand new record, and the song is called Say You Will, right here, Portland Radio Project.
Say you will let go of me in the past. My story, try your best to know me in this moment while you're in front of me. Say you will remember me when you're lonely and you need me. Try your best to forget all your doubts and your regret. If you let go, then I'll let go, and we can start over equal. I know you got just what I got, and ain't neither one of us evil. Say you won't give up on me when I'm not who you thought I'd be. Try your best to love me in this moment. I'm who I'm meant to be. Say you will remember me, a reflection of your heartbeat. And try your best to forget all your shadows, your repentance. You let go, then I'll let go, and we can start over equal. I know you got just what I got, and ain't neither one of us evil. You step back, I'll step back. We can remember neutral. You hold on, now hold on. We can get stuck here ever. Say you will listen to me when I need you to hear me, and try your best to take a pause and be kind to yourself. 'Cause say you will in me when I'm lost and I'm hungry. Try your best. Try for me. Try for you. Try to be free. If you let go, then I'll let go, and we can start over equal. I know you got just what I got, and ain't neither one of us evil.
That's Say You Will from Colin Trio from their new record called Didn't Mean To. What a pleasure it's been to have you all back in the studio. Just really great. Thank you for this.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
So great.
The record is amazing, and it's just so nice to see you all again.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's-
likewise.
Such a wonderful, comfortable studio. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
glad you're all in the spot.
Yeah, it feels pretty good.
Yeah, we'll bring noisy stuff next
Bring the
time.
noisy stuff next time. Let's say.
We'll bring the noise.
What are you doing next week now? We'll start doing a residency, a little week after week. It'll be
I like
sweet.
it.
Yeah, I
I like
love it. Well, really, really nice to see you all. Appreciate it so much. And let's do it again. I would love it.
Sounds good.
Absolutely.
And you all will be in Sisters next week, open up for Hill Stomp.
Yes.
And then out on the road, but not necessarily around Portland area. Is that right?
Yeah, we have a local show at the Headliners Club in February. So,
Fabulous.
yeah.
All right. So check it out. I have put some information up on the talk board. You can check out their shows. You can check out their music. Highly recommend the Colin Trio. Really an excellent addition to the record collection.